How was the European new car market in 2004, in 2014, and today? Let's find out. In 2004, registrations totaled 8.3 million units during the first half, led by the Peugeot 206. 10 years later, registrations totaled 6.8 million units, led by the Volkswagen Golf, followed by 6.9 million units registered during the first half of this year, led by the Dacia Sandero. Only 3 models have maintained their position within the top 10: the Peugeot 206, 208, the Volkswagen Golf, and the Renault Clio. Brand-wise, the situation has changed dramatically. 20 years ago, the leader was Renault and not Volkswagen, with 10% market share, followed by many mainstream Europeans. Then, in 2014, Volkswagen took the leadership, while BMW hit the top 10, sending out Toyota. This year, Volkswagen kept its leading position, followed by Toyota at a record second place and BMW in third position. Skoda, Dacia, Hyundai also joined the top 10, sending out Fiat, Opel, Citroën, and Ford. The situation by car groups is tricky, as there have been a lot of mergers and acquisitions. Volkswagen Group has been able to keep its leadership and actually increase its market share over the last 20 years. Meanwhile, the French car makers and the Italian ones have struggled more. In contrast to Hyundai, Kia, and the German premiums Mercedes-Benz and BMW, which have been able to grow. But the most dramatic change over the last 20 years has been on the body type evolution. 20 years ago, there was a clear preference towards hatchbacks and MPVs. In fact, even wagons and sedans outsold SUVs. 10 years later, there was a clear trend which showed the SUVs at second position with 19% market share. SUVs boom has expanded up to 52% market share through June this year, at the expense of fewer hatchback wagons, sedans, and MPVs. Most of the cars registered in Europe, whether 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or today, come from German brands. Although historically they've been followed by French brands, these companies have lost traction over the last years, and today they are behind the Japanese brands in Europe. And while Italian and British brands have lost a lot of traction over the last 20 years, other origins emerged, such as the Czech, Koreans, and Romanians. So, who have been the biggest winners and losers over the last 20 years? In terms of groups, Volkswagen is the absolute winner, in contrast to Stellantis, compared to what Fiat Group, PSA, and Opel had 20 years ago. Brand-wise, Dacia is the biggest winner, followed by Skoda, Kia, Tesla, and BMW, in contrast to Opel, Ford, Renault, Citroën, and Peugeot. In terms of body types, of course, the big winner is the SUVs, which are taking market share away from hatchbacks, MPVs, and sedans mainly. And in terms of the origin of the brands, the Koreans are the big winners, followed by the Romanians and Czech, at the expense of fewer French, Italian, and American cars.